One thing I'll say about camping, I love camping. I love being out. I love being out in the wind. I love being in the open spaces. But one thing I will say about camping is that camping can be challenging. On this episode, we go camping in the Eastern Sierra, where I take you on a tour of our camping setup and ruminate a bit on what it means to be minimalist campers. Later that afternoon, we'll be blessed with magnificent views as a springtime storm rolls in upon us. So I have found that it is crucial to have some kind of shade. This is our Roadhouse tarp canopy, and as you can see, it is resisting the wind pretty well. Getting this canopy set up was not easy, even with 10 miles an hour gusts. What we did is we staked down the guy lines pretty hard into the ground and then placed a heavy stone over, and then there was this random piece of wood that someone left here. Then we used that to hold the rock in place in the guy line. So I think we're doing pretty good here. Here's how it pays off. Here is the view out of the back door of the canopy, and you can see over this way the storm appears to be lingering in that direction. It looks like there might be some snow up in the Sierra. Out of the front door of our canopy, we have this gorgeous view and a perfect 360-degree view of the entire region. Over here, we have our cozy little seats that give us a view toward the east. We have our kitchen setup, which is not complete yet, over here, which is always very nice. Check this out. So we're going to be cooking with this view right here. We have our crates full of our cooking gear and stuff like that. That's how we roll. And here is our sleeping setup. We have a sleeper in there, making use of the sleeping setup. As you can see, it's extremely cozy. We have our deep sleep mattress here. We have a thick Coleman sleeping bag with a queen size down comforter. Let me now bring you to the feature element of this camp spot, and that is the creek. So the water is rushing down from these high peaks here all the way down this canyon. So I know some people talk about minimalist camping. I think this setup here pretty much represents about as minimalist as we can go. On that note, however, I am at the point that I've been considering other options, more along the lines of a van, something that has a rugged 4x4 capacity, something that has high clearance, something with enough room to sit up inside of, where I can read inside or even potentially make a cup of coffee inside. So if you have any suggestions, please let us know. The clouds are rolling in, as you can see around me here. It is really beautiful to be out here with some weather. Normally we come out in the summertime and it's just hot and dry, but being out here and watching the clouds form and change and the moisture falling from the sky is really just a invigorating feeling. The storm is now just about overhead, and we can look over here into this canyon there and see that it's snowing. The canyon's about 2 miles from us. Cold enough to snow there, probably not here. Looking at cloud patterns like the one we see here, humbling is probably not the word. Exhilarating, it's hard to find the word. Here we've closed up the canopy a little bit because there's a concern that we might get wet, and we've also thrown our bags back into the car and placed the kitchen gear underneath the canopy. So tonight we're going with mountain house in our mountain house. This is backpacking food that we never used because we didn't make it backpacking last summer. Alright guys, well, it's finally gotten dark and the rain has started. We were so fortunate to have this canopy set up so we can just hang out and watch the mountains and watch the storm. Alright, good morning guys. We are all packed up and we're going to take down the canopy and head home. So thanks for joining us on this episode of Artistic Off-Road, and we'll see you next time.